The cyscan sensor sends out a pulsed infrared beam and collects reflections from pre-positioned retroreflective targets. Targets are mounted on designated mooring points and are either flat or cylindrical and covered with a highly reflective film. Cyscan calculates the distance, i.e. the range, to the targets using the time of flight principle, and the direction, i.e. bearing, to the target using a precision internal encoder. In its simplest mode of use, Cyscan collates range and bearing measurements to a single target, sending the data directly to the vessel's dynamic positioning system. In multi-target operation, using two or more targets, range and bearing measurements from the targets are used to calculate the heading of the vessel in relation to the target layout. Here, range and heading data are sent to the DP system. During operation, Cyscan provides status information in the form of alarms collected from its various internal components. These are color-coded in severity, red being a fatal fault or error alarm. In the event of a sensor hardware failure, a red error alarm will be generated. The alarm bell button will turn to red, and an alarm diagnosis will appear at the bottom of the screen. Clicking the alarm button will take you to the alarm's property page where time, date and fault description are recorded. An ongoing incident will be marked with an arrow icon, while an incident that has been rectified will be marked with a square icon. Clicking on the alarm entry will show further information in the description box, together with a recommendation of appropriate operator action. The current alarm's entry can be cleared by clicking on the icon to accept it. The alarm is then written into the historical alarms list. The blanking zone is the area in each rotation where the laser is turned off and not searching for targets. It's usually set to cover the area of the vessel's superstructure, which could create false readings on the Cyscan display. During normal operation, the blanking zone requires no adjustment. However, there may be some instances where this is necessary. To set the blanking zone, click on the Sensor Operations button, choose Set Blanking Zone. The 360-degree sensor diagram is split into 16 sectors. Move the cursor over the seascape diagram and click to choose the first sector. Move the mouse anti-clockwise for a minimum of 4 sectors, and then click again to set the blanking zone. Click Apply, and then OK to confirm. To create a new mooring point, make sure that Cyscan is not currently navigating. Then, survey the area. This can be done at any point when your vessel is in target range. To do this, click on the Sensor Operations button and select Survey Mooring Point. First, click on the reflection you'd like as your mooring point origin. Then click on the furthest strong reflection, i.e. whichever yellow target is furthest away from the first. To confirm your mooring point, click on the Apply button on the control bar, then OK to confirm. You're then prompted to save your new mooring point for future visits to the same place. You can type in an appropriate mooring point name at the top of the property sheet, then click on Apply to save it. Click on Start Navigation from the button bar. You will see your new mooring point in the list. Choose it, confirm, and Cyscan will start to navigate against it. In future, the new mooring point can be recalled at any time from the list. Cyscan will automatically recognize the target layout and navigation will start. The navigation section now shows heading and range data in relation to A and B axes, where the A-axis is defined as running in a positive direction from target 1, the origin, to target 2. Heading is reported in relation to the A-axis. When required, you can also align the mooring point with the ship's compass so that the A and B axes align with true northings and eastings. To do this, click on the Sensor Operations button and select Align Mooring Point. Either enter in the ship's compass reading or drag the compass needle to the correct setting. Click the Apply button and Yes to confirm. Cyscan's sensor head rotates at 1 revolution per second. The laser profile is narrow and deep to allow for wave motion and vessel pitch and roll, whilst maintaining accurate track of the available targets. At 100 meters range, the beam is almost 30 meters deep, but only a few centimeters wide. To further compensate for movement, the rotor is mounted on an automatic stabilization platform, which in combination with the wide fan-shaped beam ensures target lock is maintained even during high sea states. The sensor display shows a blue seascape, the vessel, the targets, shown as yellow squares, and the cyscan, shown as a red dot on the vessel. The button bar provides access to a range of functions: to start navigation, stop navigation, to zoom in and out of the display, an alarm alert section, a display options section for what is viewable on screen, sensor options for cyscan's main features, the Apply button, and the Cancel button. The navigation section at the top right of the screen gives clear range and heading information and includes a 9-level information quality indicator, a quick sign as to cyscan's confidence in the data it's producing. The more bars in view, red through to orange then green, the better the data. The current tilt mode and the DP feed type are also shown. There's an operation instruction and information section that guides the user through setting up and using the sensor and navigation features of cyscan. The property pages contain detailed information about a number of different topics. Alarms, which lists any important messages received from cyscan's internal components. A reflections page, which provides a list of all the reflections received during cyscan's last revolution. A mooring points page, which lists all currently stored mooring points and details of their targets. This page also allows you to amend mooring point details. And a configuration page, which allows you to turn from day mode to night mode. Tilt angle and tilt direction indicators show the current settings that are applied to the sensor. A green arrow shows that the sensor is tilted upwards, a red arrow downwards, and a grey arrow shows that no fixed offset is applied and the sensor is horizontal. You can choose from 2 different types of navigation: single-target navigation or multi-target navigation using a defined mooring point. Single-target navigation allows you to select one target on the sensor display and navigate relative to it. Click on the Start Navigation button and select Single Target. Click OK, then use the mouse to click on one of the target reflections shown on the sensor display. After a few seconds, positional data will be displayed showing bow and starboard values. This data will automatically be fed to the DP system. To select multi-target navigation, click the Start Navigation button and choose the mooring point that matches the vessel or structure you're approaching. If this is not contained in the mooring point list, you can add a new mooring point and save it to the list. This is dealt with in later sections. Once you've chosen a mooring point from the list, click OK. Navigation data is then displayed and automatically fed to the DP system. When DP operations are complete, the system can be put into Suspend Mode, which stops the sensor rotating and turns off the laser. To do this, click on the cyscan button. Choose Suspend from the menu and OK. Clicking Resume will revive the system for normal operation. The shutdown option will turn the system and the sensor off Start the cyscan control program by clicking on the icon on the desktop of your computer. Any located targets will be shown on the sensor display. If needed, click this button to see a wider area on the sensor display. To begin, click on the Start Navigation button on the toolbar to reveal a pop-up list of options and choose Single Target. Click OK to confirm. Cyscan automatically displays any targets it detects as yellow squares. These can vary in size depending on how strong their reflections are. The larger they appear on screen, the stronger the reflection. Select the target to be used for navigation by clicking on its corresponding yellow square on your display. The system is now navigating, i.e. calculating its position or range to the bow and starboard axes. This position data is also sent directly to the DP system. Cyscan targets can be placed on fixed structures or other vessels. In clear weather conditions, Cyscan has a usable range of approximately 400 meters. In adverse weather conditions, such as rain or fog, this range will be reduced to a little more than the human eye can see. Careful positioning and cleanliness of Cyscan targets is important to the clarity of the signal. The size and shape of targets should also be considered. There are 3 target types available. For ranges up to 400 meters, the largest 2-meter-high flat target is recommended. A shorter 1-meter-high flat target is also available for ranges of up to 250 meters. Flat targets are best approached straight on because they have a usable angle of only 45 degrees either side of the perpendicular. For the greatest flexibility, and for ranges up to about 300 meters, 1.5-meter-high cylindrical targets are best. These can be seen by Cyscan from all angles, and so do not restrict the vessel approach angle. Targets can be supplied by your Cyscan agent or direct from guidance in the UK. You can also construct your own targets. However, it's very important to use 3M Diamond Grade White 3970 for the best results. Other reflective materials will downgrade Cyscan's performance. See the technical notes in the operator's guide for full details.